We're in America, Si. Give me 5. Boom!
After 25 years of biking around the world, the time has come for our most epic journey yet.
Dude, we're on our way. Route 66, America's Main Street. Over 2,000 miles of historic tarmac stretching from Chicago to LA.
It's another Route 66 icon!
This is a food odyssey through the heart of this great nation.
Oh, wow.
Yabba dabba doo. I'm going to eat it or kiss it.
In search of the real American tastes, flavours and dishes.
Cowboy beans, look at that. That's extraordinary.
To discover these dishes, we'll journey east to west through 9 states, finishing on the Pacific coast of California.
Look at that, buddy. Isn't that the best?
It's a journey through America's modern history.
This road is nearly 100 years old now.
It's like stepping back in time.
And a chance to look into its future.
We come in peace.
We'll ride across great plains
Vast deserts,
and through must-see cities and small-town communities.
In Navajo culture, once you guys come here, you guys will actually be living as family.
meeting the incredible people who populate this iconic route.
Welcome to Mama's Gonna Be Kitchen!
This is set to be the ride of a lifetime.
Look at that, dude.
Bon voyage.
Everything gonna be all right this morning.
Here we are, Chicago!
The Windy City and the absolute beginning of Route 66.
My mother fell a bee.
Our epic journey starts here in America's Midwest metropolis, the Windy City, perched on the shores of Lake Michigan.
This is America's third largest city, the hometown of ex-President Barack Obama.
It's a vibrant city with an edge, the birthplace of skyscrapers, house music, and with a present-day gang culture that echoes its criminal past.
That's the Hotel Intercontinental, and Al Capone. He used to have an indoor golf range right up there.
Did he? What did he use for golf balls?
Oh, I dread to think.
Rums.
This historic skyline may be mesmerising, but we're looking for a landmark at ground level.
See that sign, mate? Look.
Where?
Ah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I've got to have a selfie. Come on.
Should we? Come on then.
Yeah.
The adventure starts here. Get in.
It does, doesn't it?
Look at that.
This spot represents the start of the 2,400-mile-long Route 66.
Started in 1926, Route 66 opened a corridor through the continent, an artery that connected communities and encouraged people to go in search of opportunity and prosperity.
We've carved the journey into 6 legs, starting with a 400-mile ride from Chicago to St. Louis.
It's a journey that will take us from the urban sprawl of the Windy City down through small-town America before arriving on the banks of the Mississippi in St. Louis, the gateway to the West. But first, Chicago, the perfect start to our food odyssey. It has a rich history that influences the flavours of the city to this day.
Well, everybody knows about the deep pan pizzas. But it's such a melting pot of culture. There's got to be a bit more, hasn't there?
Oh, there's got to be way more, dude. Way more.
Between the Civil War and the Great Depression, Chicago was home to the world's largest meat-packing industry.
Migrants flocked to the city from around the world looking for work, including a huge influx of Italians. The most infamous character from this community was Al Capone.
The mobsters may be long gone, but the migrant dishes remain.
Let's go to Little Italy.
Yes, and Chicago's famous Italian beef.
Buonasera, Santino, buonasera. It is time to say goodnight.
Forget about burgers and hot dogs. If you want a taste of Chicago, then it's all about Italian beef.
Specifically, Al's Italian beef, so popular in Chicago that it's become a city-wide franchise. But we've come to where it all started.
Oh, what a great place.
Oh, it smells fantastic, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, well, as soon as it hits you, as soon as you walk in, the beef and...
It's like Sunday dinners.
Say, senorina, kiss me goodnight.
The boys on the corner, 1965.
Hey.
Hey, oh,
You guys know who you're looking at?
no.
No?
See that guy in the white T-shirt there?
This him,
Yeah.
That's me when I was 16.
Bones.
Bones?
I'm the Bones guy.
You must be
As
out.
they say in Spanish, huesos.
Hello, Chris.
So what brings you to Chicago?
We're doing Route 66.
Oh, we've heard about your beef sandwiches.
You heard about it?
Oh, yeah.
All the way from your country?
Oh, yeah.
You
Really?
That's famous, eh?
If you're really interested, you guys, I'm going to take you to the back. I'm going to show you something you never saw before.
Perfect.
It's an offer
Come on.
we couldn't refuse.
Absolutely, Jim. Chris's grandfather is said to be the man who invented the Italian beef sandwich.
His fledgling business needed to turn a profit, so he came up with a simple way to make the city's famed meat go further.
It was sliced so thin that you could see through it. Instead of 20 people, he fed 40.
Next came Chris's uncle, Al, who the restaurant is named after.
You're talking the 30s now. Hustlers, Chicago, Al Capone system.
Al Capone, yeah.
Okay?
Uncle Al and his hustler friends had a plan for a less than legal new business venture.
They want to start a bookie place. So he says, you know what? I got an idea. Why don't I sell what my father used to do, and we'll open up an Italian beef stand for a front. You guys take all the bets in the back.
Yes,
You
yes,
understand?
nice.
So that's what he did. So now it starts taking off.
The beef stand was so popular it made more money than the gambling, and soon a legitimate bricks and mortar restaurant was opened.
The recipe has barely changed since the 30s.
Sirloin is roasted in a cooking sauce blended with a secret spice mix, then cooled for 24 hours before being very thinly sliced.
Now you can see where my grandfather came up with this idea to serve more people. See, right there's almost a sandwich. You can see through it. Huh? It looks like a church window, right? Wow.
Oh, next the meat is dunked in the cooking juices to enhance the flavour before being placed in a sub roll.
And then the clever bit. The whole sandwich is dipped for even more flavour, but no more meat. Hence the name wet beef sandwich.
Oh, and it's traditionally dressed with pickled vegetables.
Given the juicy nature of this famous snack, Chris and his boyhood pal Joey have agreed to show us how the locals eat it.
Oh, look at that, man. That's a work of art.
Oh, yes.
So you notice this sandwich is very juicy.
Yeah, it's juicy.
yeah.
So when you start eating, the juice is gonna fall. Well, I'm gonna show you guys how we do this.
Yeah, how do
It's
we...
called the Italian stance. So instead of going on your shirt and your shoes, it's gonna go on the floor. And what you do is put your forearms on there. You're gonna step back a little bit, maybe about a foot or so, and then lean forward, put your face in it, and start chewing.
Wow.
You're like a professional. It's like a professional beef man.
You don't need no bibs here. You're gonna use your fingers. Yeah, there you go.
Man, it's up my arms and everything.
I'm cool with it.
Chris,
Yeah.
man, this is amazing.
Although this great eat is rooted firmly in its Italian immigrant past, it's evolved an American identity, just like the community here.
As the ethnicities came to America, the Irish, Italian, this, that, they stayed more and more together for security, for safety. As the years passed, assimilation started.
Your children started learning English,
Yes.
okay? And that's what started, communities merged together. Because now, instead of the Italian community here, the Puerto Ricans there, now you're all talking the same language.
In this whole Chicago area, find out how many Italians still speak Italian.
None. You lose that.
Do you ever go back to Italy?
No, I'd never been.
No, we
there.
never been
No,
there.
I'd
Never been
never
to
been
Italy?
there, no.
We're like, they call us Americans.
Yeah.
They don't think of us as Italians.
Inspired by this historic take on Chicago's iconic meat, we're going to have a crack at our own.
And And we're going with the kind of Italian-American vibe.
Hey, I'm Tommy the Tash,
And I'm Jimmy the Tickle.
and welcome to Chicago Italian Ain't Cooking.
Look at this!
Yes.
The windy city, and it is a bit windy, I've got to say.
This is our homage to the Italian migrants who created their own food culture. Hey! We're going to be doing braccio.
Braccio.
Braccio. It's kind of a meaty Swiss roll. We roll it up with ham, with cheese, and a filling made from parsley, lemon zest, garlic, and we've got a tomato sauce. I'm going to serve this with pappardelle.
Dave, sorry, mate. Look at that.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
That is, I mean, it's a nice bit of meat, that.
Bit of topside, is it?
It is a bit of topside, yeah.
It's interesting, when we're at Chris's, you know, it was kind of like an indigenous recipe, that kind of sloppy beef sandwich.
It was, yeah.
You know, it's got 80 to 100 years of heritage. It was real American food, wasn't it?
It was real American food, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing about migration, isn't it? The cuisine is part of their identity, but then they redo it all.
Yeah,
It's
but what
brilliant.
made me laugh is, though, with all this Italian identity, they hadn't been to Italy.
No, I'll proceed to beat that out.
I can help.
Can you?
Yep. We're in America. What better way to beat your steak out than with your Chicago slugger? Oh,
What's I supposed to do with that?
well, beat it. You know, it's novelty cooking.
Idiot. Put that away.
Love you. It's got a little one.
After putting my slices of beef between 2 sheets of cling film, I'm going to use my little one to give them a flippin' good bashing to tenderise them.
This is very effective.
It's not as effective as this. That's how Dave the Tash does it. Sorry, I'll do me parmesan
Get on
cheese.
with your flaming parmesan.
My flaming parmesan is actually a couple of cloves of garlic, chopped parsley, cheese, and some grated lemon zest. Now, tomato sauce. I'm going to heat some olive oil, add a chopped onion, and once that's sweating, some grated garlic. To this, I want to bubble down some wine, some white wine, and for this I have a little Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio.
Pinot Grigio. A good glass for this. I want to boil off the alcohol. Next, I'm putting in some chopped fresh oregano. You can, of course, use dried. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. And now, a tin of tomatoes. Goes in there. Now, some pepper and some salt. And we just let this simmer down into a lovely, rich, garlicky tomato sauce.
Right, Dave, the meat's bashed and the sauce is bubbling.
Time to start on our bracciole. Now we take some ham, Parma ham, some air-dried ham. We start at the bottom and we want to leave a gap at the sides and the top because the cheese will spread. Now this hard mozzarella is the one you want. Do we need any more in the sides?
Yeah, no, I think that's lovely.
So to that, now my magic mixture, which to reiterate is garlic, chopped parsley, Parmesan cheese, and lemon zest. Tell a bit of pepper on top. So that's enough?
I think that's perfect.
Now, this is our personal little touch of genius. We take a basil leaf or basil, place it on the bottom. To that, an anchovy, again for seasoning. It's like the old English way where you use anchovy to season lamb. It just works so well. It's such a delicate, savoury seasoning. It's just like a roly-poly. And secure with a toothpick. Then pass it to your mate, who'll fry it off to a lovely brown. And so we just repeat. And these need to be browned off.
Just keep an eye on them. You want a really lovely, deep colour on them.
Now simply repeat the process until you have a plateful.
Then into the sauce they go for an hour and a half.
Yeah, man, it's ready. Look at those.
The smell is wonderful. We take these out onto a board and they're carved. Oh, look at the cheese.
Oh.
There's just enough ooze.
I love ooze.
It's just on the side of decency. But all the juices from the beef are now into that tomato sauce. All the herbs, all the flavours have gone into the beef. It's such a good eat, this. Now we've cooked the pasta like that great Italian gangster al dente. True Italian style, we always put the pasta to the sauce. Never the sauce to the pasta. Whiz this around. All that's left now, Kingy, is to serve up. That's what you're after, that mixture of ham, the herbs, the cheese, the meat.
Miss World, that.
It's Miss World.
The beef world.
There it is, Hairy Biker's braccioli, a beef lover's dream.
Infused with the wondrous Italian combination of basil, anchovies, tomato and cheese.
What a privilege, Si, to eat this on the shores of Lake Michigan at the start of our great adventure.
Yes, because the next big bit of water we'll see, it'll be the Pacific.
Carry on like this, I'll be Dave the Fats again.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down. Right off of your feet.
Time to leave the Windy City and head out on Route 66.
In my house.
Doing that takes us through the south side of Chicago and its traditionally African-American suburbs, another community who migrated here, many from America's deep south.
They also brought their food and flavours to the cheap cuts of meat to be found here. And there is one food mecca that we just can't ride by.
That baby talk.
This is Lem's, a legendary barbecue joint that has passed through 3 generations of the same family, and they keep these traditions alive.
Hello.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you?
doing today?
Nice to see you. How are you going?
right.
Dave, nice to meet
Hi,
you.
nice to meet you.
Bill.
Hey, Bill, how
Hello,
are you?
Bill.
All right.
It was started by James Berry Lemons. Bill is his grandson.
Oh, this is great. Oh, wow, what a smell.
Established in 1954, Lem's is famous for rib tips, cooked in a unique contraption known locally as the aquarium pit.
Bill is in charge of the barbecue. In charge of everything else, including us, it seems, is his Aunt Carmen.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
I am Si, Simon.
And I'm Dave. Pleased to meet you,
Okay,
Carmen.
you too. Okay,
Very nice to meet
welcome, welcome. Okay, are you all ready to go to work?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Let's try it.
Oh, wow.
Look, Dave, that's one of the famous tips. It's the meaty bit of cartilage at the bottom of the spare rib. A cheap cut, often overlooked.
What we're going to tell you is the south side of Chicago, Lem's Barbecue, is the home of the rib tip. No
Right.
one sold rib tips before Lem's Barbecue.
Right.
Nobody.
Before we started selling rib tips, they'd take that part, trim it off the rib, and throw it in the garbage.
No way.
A fortune. They was throwing a fortune away.
When the newly arrived African-American migrants settled in Chicago from the deep south, they craved the smoky barbecue tastes of home. And this is the aquarium.
This is Aquarium Pit.
Unable to cook directly over fire in the big city, the aquarium pit allowed for smoky barbecuing. Indoors, which is genius.
It runs off charcoal
Yeah.
and wood, barbecuing and smoking at the same time.
Bill uses water to control the temperature inside the pit. Also get a bit of steam as well. That's going to help me tenderize the meat. Yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So would you be termed as a pit master?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for years and years and years. I've been cooking since I was about 16.
Yeah.
I'm 38 now.
Are you a regular here, sir?
No, I live in Dallas, Texas, man.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you in the neighbourhood? You've just come up to eat at Lem's?
raised here, man. Every time I come home, this is where I come.
Bill has been brave enough to let us loose on actual paying customers. That's good helpings as well.
Oh, yeah, you definitely get your money's worth here at Lem's Barbecue. All right, now it's your turn to give it a go, all right? Just go ahead.
Time to serve up some of those famous tips.
It's good, all right. Yeah. Come on, Si. It's supposed to be fast food.
Billy, he will be holding up the line.
She said you'd be holding up the line, kid.
Oh, I've got to, sorry, girl, sorry. Holding up the line here. It's not easy.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch and learn, Kingy.
All right, all right, all right.
Right.
We're gonna hire this guy. He's gonna stay here with us. You did a great job.
Okay, you can stay.
Hey.
Okay, I'm out of here.
I think we've earned our lunch, Dave.
This is the house special, the JBL. named after Bill's grandfather, James Berry Lemons. But can a cut of meat they used to throw away really be that legendary?
You still got your pinny on. Well, yet there's method in me madness. Have you seen it? It's covered in sauce.
I need the Italian stance.
Oh, man. Honestly, that's indecently good.
The tips are so full of flavour. You got rib, yeah?
Oh, man. Amazing.
It's a hickory smoke. It's wonderful.
Oh, man. Chicago Southern-style barbecue.
Yeah.
I do honestly wish you could taste it.
Yeah.
It's a religious experience.
Time to leave the meat heritage of this great city behind us.
If you ever plan to motor west, take my way, the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66.
We're heading due south along Route 66 out into rural Illinois and onwards to the state of Missouri.
When it was first built, the road had the immediate effect of connecting isolated communities and enabling them to prosper, which is one of the reasons it entered American folklore.
And one of its joys are the sights you see along the way.
Look at this, Dave.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
We come in peace. Wow, he's a big one, isn't he?
He is.
Hey.
Look at him.
Yeah. Do you know, now I feel we've started, Si. We've got out of Chicago on Route 66, and this is our first Muffler Man.
This is it.
Muffler Men are giant fiberglass statues produced in the 1960s and 70s to advertise roadside businesses, often car-related, hence the term Muffler Men.
This one's named after the Gemini space program of the early 1960s.
They can be found all along the route, adding a layer of kitchen nostalgia that the road is now known for.
Hang on, Dave, hang on. Looks like we've got company.
How you doing, fellas? on this too, all right?
Hello, bud.
We want in on this too.
Hey, I'm Dave.
I'm Dwayne.
Hello, Dwayne.
Hey, I'm Si. Nice to see you.
I'm Dwayne.
You all right, man? Good.
Oh,
Good to
Dave.
see you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, man.
What's with your camera crew?
It's filming for the BBC. Yeah, we do a series in the...
British?
Yeah.
We're heading towards Los Angeles.
You're riding the
Yeah, we're
doing a lot,
all
yeah.
the way
Come
along.
on.
What do you think we're going to find out, lads? What we're going to?
Oh, you're going to
what can
find
we
out
expect?
about America. You know, you're going to see all the small towns and stuff,
Yeah.
all the farming communities.
Every farming community around.
Yeah.
Everything down. You go south from here, everything is farm town. Nice to meet you. Very nice.
Thank you.
And you, sir. Good to see
Nice
you,
to
man.
meet you.
Nice to see you, bro.
Hey, here's have a safe trip. Okay?
Thank you.
And you. Thank
Stop
you.
on Rose Lane on your way back.
See you, boys. That's how to make an exit, Kingy.
Maybe we should do the same.
Run away, run away.
90 minutes ride southwest from the Gemini Giant brings us to our next stop for a slice of small town America.
This is Atlanta, Illinois, a tiny town with a population of less than 2,000 that was brought to life by Route 66.
This is the heartland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can smell the apple pies, can't you?
Yeah.
Another muffler man, Dave?
He's advertising the reason we're here, a diner, which harks back to the heyday of Route 66. Hello.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Well,
Yeah,
lovely
good.
welcome. Yes,
oh,
please.
yeah, I would love some. Thank you. This is great service, this.
Si, this is like the most perfect diner. This is what I hope to find.
It's really original as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's cool,
yeah.
man.
The reason the Palms Grill Cafe feels so original is that the local community pitched in to restore and renovate it after decades of being derelict. Bill Thomas was in charge of this labour of love.
This place opened in 1936.
So that's about 10 years after Route 66 opened.
Very good, just 10 years after, yes. And it was actually very, very busy because it was halfway between Chicago and St. Louis. So this was a natural stopping place. At one point in time, this little town of 1,600 people had 7 gasoline stations from one end of town to the next.
Wow.
That's how busy Route 66 was.
But the boom times didn't last.
The federal highway system, the interstate system was developed, and all of the towns along Route 66 were bypassed by the interstates. And of course, that dramatically impacted them in terms of their economies. Nobody was driving through the middle of town anymore. They were all driving around. So all of these kinds of places just closed up, boarded up the windows.
The Palms Grill Cafe fell victim to the new interstate road system and closed its doors in the late 60s. But Bill and the local community brought it back to life 10 years ago.
There are lots of folks who really enjoy history and like to learn about the past, and they started to rediscover Route 66. And it was sort of like, if you build it, they will come.
Yes, very
So
much.
we decided, let's recreate this cafe. And we're not the only ones. Folks all the way from Chicago to LA are bringing back to life these kinds of places, and it's paying off for them now.
I'll tell you what would pay off for me right now, Dave.
I know where you're going, Kingy, and I think Billy's on the case. That looks like a pie from a nursery rhyme.
Keep your thumbs out of it.
Oh, well,
Okay.
Yeah. So who makes the pies?
Well, we have a baker, a full-time baker, but I made this one today.
Oh, we're honoured.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Actually, truth be told, here in Illinois, we have an annual state fair.
Yeah.
And anyone who wants to enter the pie baking contest can do so. And I am actually a state grand champion pie baker. So I hope you like this, because
So not only do we get this very fine apple pie, homemade, on Route 66, it's
Excellent.
also Illinois championship pie.
Well, taste it before you say that again.
Well, that is a
that
fine-looking pie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, Mum.
Good.
There's a cinnamon there as well.
Cinnamon in there, Granny Smith apples,
Oh,
because they're nice
so
and tart.
That's delicious.
Lovely pie, Dave, and lovely people. But we need to drag ourselves away and get back on the road.
Not all small towns along the route have fared as well as Atlanta. I booked us an overnight in a town named after one of America's great presidents, Abraham Lincoln. He practiced law here in the 1850s.
Despite this claim to fame, Lincoln doesn't feel like a town that is thriving.
Like the houses and stuff, that, I mean, some are absolutely brand spanking new and really cared for and looked after, and others are just abandoned.
No, this feels like a town that hasn't managed to trade on its history.
It really is. There's no people. Anything's like a ghost town.
It is.
But it's where we're spending the night. So, with the bikes parked up, we're going in search of some locals. In the local.
Hello, ladies. Hiya.
How are you? Hello, sir. How are you? How are you, man? Good.
you?
Thank you. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from England, from the north.
North of England.
Lost?
Yeah. you had to ask. Yeah, we are.
No, we're doing Route 66.
Right on, right on.
We haven't
All the
got
way.
far.
All the way.
This is a proper bar. Seems friendly too.
Best cheeseburgers in the United States of America. Yeah.
Wow, that's a claim. Shame they've stopped serving them.
Like today's special at lunch was your Cajun sausage gumbo.
Oh, wow.
And I wish we had some for you to try. Because I'm sure you guys are cold, could use a little warm soup in your belly.
It is cold, isn't it?
It is cold.
And what do most people do in Lincoln? What's the main...
I don't want to say on there. What are we doing now?
What do you do? Oh, well, that's all right. That's good.
We've had our ups and downs. We just had the bottle factory close a couple of weeks ago.
We were right, Si. This small town's been through some hard times.
Put your hands up if you want a beer. 4 hands up, 3 hands. Dude, can I have 3?
But that's what this incredible journey is about for us. Getting beyond the nostalgia of Route 66 to find out what it means now for the people who live along it. A new day, and with it, rain. Poor old Lincoln. It must have something going for it.
It's miserable. I was up for it today as well.
I know.
Look at it.
We're in Lincoln. What do we do in Lincoln?
You'd say Abraham.
I saw a thing in there. We said that is the biggest covered wagon in the world. It's completely irrelevant, isn't it, if you haven't got a big horse to go with it. It's in the Guinness Book of Records. The world's largest covered wagon. Again, it's one of those big things like not methane men, muffler men.
Muffler men.
Muffler men.
Yeah.
Like the muffler men. You know, it's just to draw you in, isn't it? I don't believe it. Oh. It was voted #1 roadside attraction in America by Reader's Digest magazine. Well, you wouldn't make a trip, would you? I mean, I'm not being negative. It's not a day out. Lincoln's a town that's clearly been hit by a changing America, but our next stop takes us into a community completely untouched by the modern world.
The humble and traditional lifestyle we're about to experience has remained unchanged for over 200 years.
We've been granted an invitation into the Amish community.
The Amish originated in Switzerland and arrived in America in the 17th and 18th centuries, often fleeing religious persecution.
Our guide here is Sue, who organises Amish tours.
Hello. Hi, Dave. Hi, Si. You made it.
So, Sue, what are the main cultural differences between what we understand as the modern world and the Amish world?
Well, for starters, the Amish do not have electricity in their homes. They don't have cars, they have their buggies. They like to stay a little more private, but they do interact with the English quite well.
But the English, it's not us, the English, is it?
You know, that's funny, no. But to the Amish, if you're not Amish, you are English, no matter where you're from.
When the Amish settled here, the majority of the population around them were English immigrants, and since then, they've referred to anyone outside of their community as English.
Sue's managed to get us an in to this community. But there's one slight hitch.
The filming.
Yeah.
Amish don't allow their faces to be filmed or photographed, okay?
You're good at fun, aren't you?
Well, this is going to be interesting for our crew, yeah?
Yes. It is one of the 10 Commandments that they obey, that you don't worship an idol or a graven image, and they look at a photo as a graven image, and that's the reason why.
The Amish are Christian fellowships devoted to their local church district. They believe in community rather than being individuals.
We'd better be on our best behaviour, you know, Dave. What a beautiful farm, isn't it?
It's gorgeous and it's immaculate.
Hello. Hi, Elizabeth. Hey, I want to introduce you to Dave and
Hello,
Elizabeth.
Dave. Pleased to meet you.
Hello, Elizabeth. Very nice to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Come in.
Oh, thank you.
Inside, preparations are underway for a big gathering in our honour. Is there a cuisine that's particularly Amish? Do you have traditional recipes within the Amish community?
Now, the pie crust, that's from my mother. This chocolate pie is too, that's from my mother.
What would you say is Amish food in general?
Well, pies, potatoes, and casseroles are really popular among us.
Right.
The Amish don't use electricity, even if their life depends on it. Elizabeth's husband, Willis, needs extra oxygen, so his ventilator has to run on propane gas.
Willis, why is there no electricity? Well, it's too modern. If we have electricity, then what all else follows, you know, the TV, the radio, all the garbage that comes with it.
Sure, sure.
There's really nothing wrong with electricity.
No.
But what comes with that is not good for us.
Okay.
How many are coming to lunch today, Elizabeth?
At least 20.
Crumbs. Well, can we help? Can we make something for the table?
Sure, yeah.
We'll better get on then. OK, Si. Guests are on the way, and we'll need to offer something simple and in keeping.
Well, what better than a meatloaf?
The Amish love their food to be traditional, but tasty nonetheless. Which makes a change, doesn't it, being invited into somebody's kitchen?
And it's an Amish kitchen, not any kitchen.
Lovely. So we're going to be making a meatloaf rather nice meatloaf, and then we're going to do that with a wedge salad, like they do here, where it's like a wedge of lettuce with a blue cheese dressing and bacon bits. That's our contribution.
Yes, it is. We start by chopping celery, onions, carrots and garlic.
The meatloaf, it's going to be two meats. It's pork and beef. To this, we're going to add a couple of rashers of very finely chopped smoky bacon. What do you think about the idea of no electricity, Kingy?
Well, kind of quite like it. I think it's. I mean, look. I think it's a different mindset entirely, isn't it? Because what we take for granted on every day, you plug something in and that's it. You go. It's done.
You know, it's the word that Willis used that struck a chord with me, and it's distraction.
Yes, indeed.
We're constantly distracted from things that are important, like family life, love, sharing a table of food together.
Absolutely.
You have everything that you need?
Yes,
I think so, yeah.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yes.
I just worry if the meatloaf's going to be big enough.
Is that all the meat you have?
Yeah. Do you think we better double it?
Yeah.
We should double up. Yeah.
We'll double up.
Right.
Yes.
On the way.
Right. I need another onion.
Oh, great.
And another carrot.
The garden's out there.
I'm going.
It's not going to be a meatloaf, it's going to be a meat torpedo. Oh, no, that's a really terrible thing to say. Please forgive me, Lord. I didn't mean to be a smart.
Oh, God.
Let's get this worked in. There's quite a lot of it now. This is hard work. So I'll add some breadcrumbs. I was meant to use half of this, but it'll be all of this. The breadcrumbs come in. It'll give the meatloaf texture and make it hold together and take the flavour. So, to the seasoning. And of course, I'm doubling up for our new supersized loaf. Garlic powder, English mustard powder, dried oregano, and thyme. This is going to be a big meatloaf.
While Dave's wrangling the meat, I'm on the veg, and it's time to get sautéing. In the absence of a spoon, because your best mate's nicked it,
Soz,
you can stir your veggies with the remaining stick of celery.
Now, some cream. This is just to enrich it. It should be about 50 ml, but I'm going to go for 100 now. It's about half of this. Plenty of salt and pepper. And to bind the loaf, I'm adding a couple of eggs.
Once the veg is done, it needs to be cooled before adding to Dave's meat mix.
This is proper panted veg, this.
Oh, it's doing me the world of good. Right, the veggies go in. They've chilled out, stopped steaming. And now this all has to be kneaded together. Now, in we go. This isn't looking bad, is it, Kingy?
It looks fantastic, dude. Done a good job there.
Elizabeth, does this look a more respectable amount of meat?
Yes, it does.
Right.
A little olive oil on the bottom of the baking tray and we're ready to roll.
Now I'm going to cover this with smoky bacon. It keeps the flavour in and it gives us a nice crispy treat on the top.
Finally, I'm mixing together a glaze made of tomato ketchup, cider vinegar, maple syrup, mustard and garlic powder to be applied liberally before our mighty loaf hits the oven.
Now this is going to go into a preheated oven, 180 degrees Celsius, for about an hour and a half. After 45 minutes, we'll give it another coat of the glaze. And it's going to come out looking like a Chippendale sideboard, but twice as tasty.
There we go. There is a real tranquility to this kitchen, surrounded by farmland and away from the modern gadgets and gizmos. Well, there was.
What a device!
It's purposely made for mashing potatoes.
It's genius. But that's not electric, is it?
No, it's air. See, it's air.
I'll have to get one of these.
Well, if you're quite finished, there's a lovely group of Amish and non-Amish locals in here, and we're ready to eat. We're starving.
The famous mashed potatoes.
These are the famous mashed potatoes. Oh, great.
We are about to experience our first ever Amish meal.
And so far, so traditional.
That's gravy for your potatoes.
This is gravy for the potatoes.
Elizabeth's gravy is made from chicken dripping, flour and milk. But the next side dish is a little more surprising.
Noodles. Okay. And what do we just
Made from chicken broth.
That's what I like to put on my mashed potato. Noodles.
The other thing I'm curious about is the caramel-looking sauce.
It's peanut butter with Caro syrup and marshmallow cream.
marshmallow cream?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a flavour combination I've never come across, Kingy.
Oh, wow, chicken. This is a feast indeed. Thank you, Elizabeth.
We saw that our contribution to come.
It's still in the oven,
It's still
Elizabeth.
in the oven, but it's on its way.
Sorry, we got it a bit, the
Let you down
timing,
a little bit.
timing a little wrong.
That's right. That's all right.
Did the Amish and the English communities mix very well in the town?
I think they do. I have a lot of respect
Yes.
for the customs, the culture. They're very hard workers, very faithful Christian people.
Yeah.
The kind of folks, if you have a problem, they're the first ones to be there to help you. The English kids are in their house playing on their iPhone. I watch the Amish children actually playing.
Yes.
Use your imagination. And the family is very important to the Amish.
We had an English friend that passed away with cancer just like 2 months ago. And if it wouldn't have been for me and my wife there, he would have been all alone. Like he had no family, friends that cared about him. So a week ago, we had a funeral for my sister, and there was probably 600 people at the funeral. So that's where I've really learned to appreciate friends and family.
That's
community.
proper community, isn't it?
Yeah.
OK, Dave, it's ready. Let's bring the meatloaf to the party.
I know it's a little late, and we're sorry about that.
You guys are great cooks. You should become Amish.
Oh, that's a compliment, Bruce. We can't.
Would I have to lose the moustache?
Yeah. Take a razor.
Well, Dave, I think you'll agree. That was a cook and a meal unlike any we've ever experienced before.
Totally unique and a real insight into a closed community. We're leaving Illinois behind and crossing the Mississippi River, where the famous Gateway Arch signals that we've made it to St. Louis.
Look, there it is, the big arch.
Look at that. That is the gateway to the west. Dude, we're on our way.
Founded by the French in the 18th century, St. Louis' prosperity has always relied on its location on the great Mississippi River.
This was one of the reasons it became an important staging post for wagon trains heading west for California. Its status as the gateway to the west was sealed in 1965 with the opening of the wondrous Gateway Arch.
Route 66 was a road that was all about heading west to find prosperity. But today, you don't need to head west.
We're seeking out a business that has been making a killing from one product for decades.
This is the legendary Ted Drew's.
And every day of the week, you can find a long queue of locals and tourists keen to sample its sweet treat.
90 years it's been here, Si.
Well, that's good. That's good.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Selling custard.
Not any old custard. This is frozen custard.
What is frozen custard?
What is frozen custard?
Yes.
It's like ice cream, only thicker, and it has eggs in it, and it's very rich and creamy.
Is it good?
Delicious.
Oh, yes.
Better
Very
than
good.
ice cream.
So what is it that makes frozen custard different to regular ice cream?
It's all in the mix that we get. With the egg, there's less air in it, which makes it more denser. There's a higher butter fat concentration in it.
Yeah.
So it'll come out more rich and more thick.
What the hell's a concrete?
Concrete is just what we call it. When we start off with vanilla custard and any of these 4 cups, and then we'll top it with whatever flavors you want. There should be a list up there that says flavors.
Right.
And then we'll mix it all in, and then we call it a concrete because of the mix. It's got less air in it. It's a more dense product. We can flip it upside down. You can hold it upside down. It won't fall out of the cup.
And is that kind of the real traditional one?
correct. That's
Oh,
what
we
we're
have to
most
go
famous for.
concrete.
I know. And we'll have concrete cardinal sin.
A cardinal sin comes with tart cherries and hot fudge.
Ooh, and I'm having a Dutchman. Chocolate, butterscotch and pecans.
They even do a doggy dish, you know.
Well, he's going to need a long walk after that, isn't he?
Did you get a cardinal sin?
I did.
That's what you've got.
That's what I've got.
Matches my shirt.
Hey.
This is the mini Dutchman. This is the mini cardinal sin.
See what they've done there, Si? Cardinal Sin, referencing the local baseball team, the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's really, really rich, isn't it?
That is sheer genius.
Isn't it?
Like the Apple Pie Diner back in Atlanta, this feels like a business trading on its roots. Nostalgic and a taste straight from the past.
But that's not the only reason we're here in St. Louis. We're after the flavours of another European community that have come to America.
St. Louis has a huge Bosnian population, the biggest outside Europe. And while the Amish in Illinois have been here for a couple of centuries, this community is new. They fled their country after the Balkan War in the 1990s, settling here with an extraordinary restaurant at the heart of their new home.
Hello, welcome to Gerbic Restaurant. I'm Sonata.
We're being met by Sonada, the chef.
Welcome, come on in.
Thank you. The rest of the family are in the kitchen.
Hello.
Well, hello. Welcome to Mama's Gerbic Kitchen.
Ermina?
Ermina, yes.
Ermina, how are you doing?
Mr. Silo.
Hello, very nice
You
to meet
look like exactly like on television, like a movie star.
Sinada's dad, Suleiman, brought his wife to St. Louis in 1980. Their dream was to open a restaurant with all the tastes of home.
This family have brought all the flavours of Bosnia to St. Louis.
Like the Italian beef, the barbecue ribs in Chicago, or the traditional tastes of the Amish, this place promises the flavours of its migrant community.
Ta-da! Surprise!
Oh,
Look at
wow,
that. Look at that. This is the chacro steak. It's everybody's favorite. It's falling off the bone.
Ooh.
And we're just going to have mushroom gravy, top it on the chacro steak, and mashed potato.
Oh,
and everybody loves that. It's melting in your mouth.
There's a good reason why the meat is so good here. Suleiman was a butcher back in Bosnia.
This is your butchery. This is his meat.
That's his meat, and he brings always the best. Never frozen, never boxed. It's always the best. Call his Uncle Sam, and he brings it fresh in the house.
Sonada's brother is a chef here too. Right now, he's working on a special dish created by and named after his dad, Babo.
Oh, that looks amazing. What's on the chicken?
This is Babo's chicken. It's a boneless and skinless, marinated dark meat chicken, and then we grill little peppers and onions on the side, mix it all up together, and you know how that dark meat chicken is. Very
Smells so
tender,
good.
nicely, highly seasoned, very
So
good.
what's in the marinade?
Oh, that's a little secret.
I knew that was coming. I knew you wouldn't tell us.
We have to have a few.
We have a little bit of the mix going here. So it's basically the fresh ground veal, a blend of spices and seasonings, sauteed onions, olive oil, and par-cooked rice.
What Sonada is describing is the filling for a Bosnian speciality called sarma.
So these are house pickled cabbage leaves.
Yep.
So we make them ourselves. We pickle them ourselves in-house so that they're fresh and ready to roll when we're ready to
And
cook.
what do you pickle them in?
Salt water, that's it.
Just salt
Salt
water.
water.
Okay, so it's a
So
brine.
more of a brine,
Yeah.
yes. Uh-huh. So to make these, you gotta grab a good handful, and then you fold one of these sides in.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll all the way over, just like this, but make sure you're getting it real tight,
Yeah.
okay? You're gonna take this end, and you're gonna push it in.
Your mum's very fast.
Mom's very fast.
Making sarma is child's play for Amina, who grew up working in a parent's restaurant.
When I first started making these, Mom always told me, you know it's done correctly if you can throw it against your husband and it doesn't break.
Get your leaves. I'll wait for you guys.
Yeah. Stuff from that end.
Yes.
And
yes.
then-
And then fold one side and tight. Roll it tight, go all the way down. Then push the other end in.
I've got you.
That's it. Done.
It's like a belly button. That's it, and then pop.
You got him, you got him, you got him. Beautiful. Excellent, excellent. That's gonna be best sarma in St. Louis. My grandma's recipe, my mom's recipe. I bring all that from Bosnia, and I still keep that in my house and keep that in my restaurant.
You know what comes off you in waves is the passion about your cuisine.
I cook from the love. And when you cook the food from the love, my customer know that.
Oh, look at this, Si. We get to taste some cooked salmon now.
Just a little bit of sauce on top. So the sauce is made with paprika, tomato base, and a little bit of the broth that we cooked it in
And we do have
for
a
extra
local
flavor.
brand. We do have a sour cream. Who love the sour cream?
Thank you.
That's the way how you eat.
Spoon tender, not even fork tender.
Oh, look
That's
at
what you're
that.
looking for in here.
Who'd have thought it, Dave, on Route 66 Bosnian cuisine?
I know. It is a Route 66 surprise, isn't it? A little bit of sour cream just makes it so luxurious and decadent.
Oh yeah, that creamy, you know, the meaty, the pickly.
Oh yeah, the humble cabbage shall go to the party.
This is exactly how you would find it at my grandma's house too, though. That's one of the best parts about it.
There's not many restaurants can say that. It's really coming together in the kitchen. A true celebration of Balkan cuisine.
Time to take our seats, and the overwhelming feeling here is being part of an extended family. That's probably because by the time Suleiman and Ermina bought this place in 1998, St. Louis' Bosnian community had grown hugely. And this place became its nucleus, offering new arrivals help and support.
Our dining companion, Edo, knows how important that is.
This was always a hub and the center for all the happenings. You know, all the questions you might have. Like you come here and you find either Suljo or somebody else that will either guide you to the right direction or give you the right advice. You always felt welcomed and at home and protected, which is when you're an immigrant somewhere strange, unfamiliar, that's something that you gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Like this family always provided some sort of, I want to say, safe place for a lot of people.
Here's the food, Si. Oh, wow!
Tradition called the Berbic mixed plate. We have some little pieskarica, like a veal patties, then a chivati or ground beef sausages, and a babosh chicken, like boneless skinless, dark, marinated meat.
That sounds great.
Here comes Suleiman's beef, Dave.
Oh, with the mushrooms. Oh, yes.
And the mashed potato.
This is something
This
special.
is a feast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the sarma.
We're very lucky people. I want to try the little
You are brave,
sausages.
man.
Dave?
Yes, please. Oh, happy days. Oh, this food is good for your soul, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is superb.
Blimey, Kingy, there's dessert too.
And can you believe what Amina's done? A cake celebrating our Route 66 adventure.
We don't deserve it, Si. But I reckon I could handle a slice.
Yeah, we're not in any hurry, are we?
New day, Si, and a chance to celebrate Route 66's immigrant success story with a final cook.
And as St. Louis was once one of the busiest ports on the Mississippi, we thought a riverboat would be the perfect location.
Woohoo! Whoop-whoop! Here life finds us on the good ship Tom Sawyer on the mighty Mississippi. And we're going to be cooking baklava.
Or baklawa.
Baklava.
It's our homage
to the generosity of the Balkan community in St. Louis. You find baklava throughout the Balkans and Greece and Turkey.
You do?
And it's the most wonderful thing. The Bosnian baklava is different in a way that it uses a lot of cinnamon and walnuts, and that's what we're going for, isn't it?
And interestingly, a little bit of cardamom as well,
Yeah.
which is an interesting kind of cultural
So we're
twist.
going to be dressing our baklava with a cardamom and orange cream. Yummers. With a baklava, phyllo pastry is of course central to the proceedings. However, the roll I have is larger than my tin. I'm going to have to trim it like wallpaper.
While Dave's starting with his layers of phyllo, I'm chopping walnuts, which, along with those I crushed earlier in the pestle and mortar, are going to provide the texture for our baklava.
Now, our Dave,
Yes.
What do you think about this? Should we do them like kind of pistachio style crushed? Or?
Yeah, because we've got two textures, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we lay a sheet in there like so. I'm so good at wallpapering.
You are,
And
you
I'm
are
going
actually,
to use
to be
some
fair.
scissors. Like that. So that's layer one. And as you can see, it really is quite tidy. Now, we paint that with butter.
Now it's a case of repeating the process. I'm going for 6 layers.
Layer number 4.
Flipping heck, you're cracking on, dude. What I've done now is I've just put in the zest of 1 large orange will do, but they're quite small oranges, so I put 2 in. And we're just going to mix that through.
And you've got lovely textures because you've got the nuts that were crushed quite fine, like coffee granules. And then you've got the rougher nuts, so you've got a bit of bite.
Teaspoon of cinnamon. And then we add about 50 grams of melted butter, and we stir that through. And that's it, mate, we're ready.
Beautiful. Now what we need to do now is to sprinkle a layer of nuts on this, but don't press the nuts down. You don't want your nuts compressed.
And we've got to try and get them as even as we can.
Just like the Amish planting out their corn, Kingy.
Yeah. So just make it as even as possible. It all goes into the bottom.
Right, I'll get wallpapering again now.
Brilliant.
You just need to put another 6 layers of phyllo over the mix.
I am available for wallpapering all over the British Isles.
Then it's time to cut the baklava into the diamond shapes, which will become beautiful individual slices.
All we need to do now is pop this into a preheated oven, moderate, 160 degrees Celsius, for around 35 minutes until the top's golden brown.
To the galley kitchen I go, and into the oven she goes. And as sure as the Mississippi flows south, so does the baking work its magic.
After which, our baklava needs to cool before we apply the crucial finishing touches.
First, the syrup, composed of just sugar, water and honey, is stirred and heated through.
And our orange julienne. Just peel an orange and slice as many thin slivers as you can. Then add that to the syrup.
This is cooled in the breeze of the Mississippi. How much better can we get?
Oh, that looks great, man.
That's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Now, the baklava has to be cool before you put the syrup on. The syrup's hot, and it's going to soak into it. And obviously, when this is all cooled, we can eat it.
And there it is, baklava with an orange-infused syrup served with orange and cardamom cream.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
It's almost like toffee now.
What a great first leg of our Route 66 adventure. 400 miles through some of the wonderful flavours of the migrants who call America their home. And this is just the start.
Bon voyage.
Oh, Dave, look at this.
Rev it up, Si. We're diving into Route 66's history.
We're heading to Tulsa for a blast from the past.
It's like going back in time, isn't it?
Yes, it's fabulous. Look at it.
Seeking out incredible dishes.
And I thought we discovered all the cuisines in the world.
Cooking for the locals.
It's the last one, but it's going to be a belter.
Real nice. I'll go back and do it again.
And even heading into tribal lands for a Cherokee feast.
Superb.
Oh, it's amazing.